Good morning, beautiful. Just want to let you know I've been thinking about you all night last night. I had such a... Bitch, wake up. You ain't sleep, ho.
It was Sunday, December 24th, 2020. in family activities. On Christmas Eve, she was part of a group that included her mother, siblings, and grandmother. This shows that she maintained regular contact with her family and was involved in shared events. She was not isolated from them. Family gatherings were a normal part of her life. At the time of her death, Abrielle Baldwin was a young mother living a family-focused life. Her daily routine, responsibilities, and relationships placed her inside the home and among relatives. She was present during a family gathering because that was where she typically spent time. Her role within the family was not defined by conflict, but by responsibility, familiarity, and proximity. This background explains why she was there that night, and why she became part of a situation that quickly moved beyond control. The day began on Sunday, December 24th, 2023, with normal holiday activity. Abrielle Baldwin spent part of the day with her mother and siblings running errands related to Christmas. This included a shopping trip to buy gifts. The purpose of the outing was practical and seasonal. Stores were busy, and the group moved from place to place to complete their purchases. There were no reports of disagreements during this time. The shopping trip followed a routine pattern common on holidays and ended without any recorded issues. After the shopping was finished, the family prepared to go to their grandmother's house. A disagreement began between two teenage brothers. The argument developed inside the home and did not involve people outside the family. The topic of the disagreement was Christmas gifts. One brother believed the other had received more. The discussion grew louder and more persistent. Their points, and neither backed down. Their voices became louder, drawing the attention of others in the house. Family members nearby became aware that the disagreement was not ending quickly. The argument moved from one room to another as the brothers continued to confront each other. Other people inside the house attempted to intervene verbally. These efforts were aimed at stopping the disagreement before it became more serious. Despite these attempts, the argument continued. The brothers remained focused on their disagreement, rather than the people asking them to calm down. As time passed, the tone of the argument changed. What began as a complaint turned into a confrontation. The discussion became more aggressive in nature. The brothers stood closer to each other, and their movements became more deliberate. The situation no longer resembled a typical family disagreement. The escalation was noticeable to those present. At this point, a firearm entered the situation. One of the brothers gained access to a gun while the argument was still ongoing. The presence of the weapon immediately increased the level of risk inside the home. A firearm changes the nature of any conflict, especially in a confined space with multiple people present. The argument was no longer only verbal. The gun was displayed during the dispute. This action shifted control of the situation. The focus of everyone in the room changed from resolving the argument to responding to the weapon. The presence of the firearm created a baby required immediate awareness from those nearby. People inside the house reacted to gunshot and the injury. The environment moved from confrontation to emergency within seconds. The shooting marked the point at which the situation became irreversible. What had started as an attempt to stop an argument ended in a fatal injury. The firearm had been discharged inside a family home during a holiday gathering. Abrielle Baldwin's intervention occurred moments before the gun was fired, placing her directly in the path of harm. The events that followed unfolded rapidly after this moment, shaped by the single decision to pull the trigger. After the first gunshot, the situation inside the house changed immediately. The argument ended, and attention shifted to what had just occurred. Abrielle Baldwin had been struck and had fallen to the floor. People in the room were now responding to a medical emergency rather than a disagreement. The space became crowded as individuals tried to understand what had happened and where the danger still existed. The firearm used in the first shooting was still present, and the risk had not yet passed. The older teenage brother became aware of the outcome of the first shot. He saw that his sister had been hit, and that the situation was still active. At that point, he reacted to what he believed was an ongoing threat inside the home. His response was not delayed. He focused on the younger brother, who had fired the first shot. The presence of a weapon and the injury to a family member shaped his next actions. The older brother gained access to another firearm. This occurred inside the same residence and within a short time after the first shooting. The environment did not allow for extended discussion or planning. People were moving, voices were raised, and attention was divided between the injured and the perceived danger. The older brother positioned himself in response to the situation unfolding in front of him. A second gunshot was fired inside the home. This shot struck the younger brother, causing injury but not death. The discharge of the second firearm added another layer of complexity to the scene. There were now two people who had been shot within moments of each other. The home had effectively become a crime scene, even though law enforcement had not yet arrived. Following the second gunshot, the immediate threat appeared to stop. The younger brother was injured, and the firearm he had used earlier was no longer being actively displayed. People inside the house focused on assessing injuries and ensuring children were not harmed. The baby who had been in Abrielle's arms remained unharmed. Attention shifted toward contacting emergency services. Emergency responders were called to the scene. When they arrived, they encountered a chaotic environment with multiple victims. Abrielle Baldwin had suffered a fatal injury and was later pronounced dead. The younger brother, who had been shot in the second incident, was treated for his injuries. The older brother remained at the location as authorities began their investigation. By the end of the night, the outcome was clear. One person had died from a gunshot wound, and another had survived after being injured. Two separate gunshots, fired by two different individuals, occurred inside the same home during a family gathering. The second shooting did not reverse the damage caused by the first. Instead, it added another injured person to an already fatal situation. What remained was a completed chain of events that began with an argument and ended with one death and one injury. After the second gunshot, someone inside the house contacted emergency services. A 911 call was made to report the shootings. The dispatcher received information about multiple people being shot and the presence of firearms inside the home. The call provided details about the location, the number of victims, and the immediate need for law enforcement and medical personnel. This call triggered a rapid response from local authorities. Police and emergency responders arrived at the scene within minutes. Law enforcement officers entered the area cautiously, aware that firearms were involved and that the situation could still be volatile. Their primary concern was ensuring the safety of everyone present, including family members, neighbors, and themselves. Officers separated individuals inside the home to reduce the risk of further violence. Paramedics were directed to the injured individuals. Medical personnel assessed both the fatal and non-fatal injuries. Abrielle Baldwin had already suffered a lethal gunshot wound. Emergency medical teams attempted to stabilize the injured teenager and transport him to a medical facility for treatment. The baby and other family investigation by detectives. The police response ensured that the immediate danger was neutralized and the facts could be thoroughly examined. What started as a family gathering had ended as a crime scene managed by authorities, with the next steps focused on understanding the actions that led to fatalities and injuries. After the investigation of the shootings, law enforcement and prosecutors reviewed all available evidence, including witness statements, physical evidence, and forensic findings. Based on their review, authorities determined that both teenage brothers would face criminal charges. The charges were directly related to the actions that resulted in injury and death during the incident at the family home. The younger brother, who fired the first shot, was charged with first-degree murder. Additional charges included child abuse and delinquent possession of a firearm. These charges were filed because the act resulted in the death of Abrielle Baldwin and placed other family members, including children, at serious risk. The legal system treats such actions with severe consequences, especially when the use of a firearm causes fatality. The older brother, who fired the second shot, faced attempted first-degree murder and tampering with physical evidence. These charges were based on his response to the initial shooting, which resulted in injury to the younger brother, and his alleged actions to manage or hide evidence after the incident. Each charge reflected the direct impact of his decisions during the sequence of events inside the home. Both brothers were minors at the time. Court, all within a framework designed to address juvenile involvement in serious crimes while ensuring proper legal procedures were followed. The immediate consequence of the shootings was the death of Abrielle Baldwin. Her children were left without a mother. The youngest child, a baby under 1 year old, lost direct care and supervision. The older child, still very young, experienced the same loss. Both children now relied on other family members for basic needs, daily care, and emotional support. Their routine was permanently altered by the absence of a parent. The family as a whole faced significant consequences. The younger brother who fired the first shot was injured and charged with murder, while the older brother faced charges for his actions. These legal proceedings introduced additional stress and complexity to the household. Family members had to adjust to dealing with law enforcement, courts, and medical care, all while coping with grief and shock. The family's daily life was disrupted in ways that would continue for years. Relationships within the family were affected immediately. Siblings who were not directly involved in the shootings had to process both the loss of their sister and the actions of their brothers. Adults in the household were responsible for maintaining the safety and care of the remaining children. Family dynamics changed due to separation, legal involvement, and the need to manage conflicting emotions among surviving members. The broader community reacted to the incident as well. News of the shootings was reported widely, attracting attention from local media outlets. Residents learned that a fatal event had occurred in a family home during a holiday, which caused concern and heightened awareness of safety. Community members discussed the dangers of firearms in homes and the consequences of disputes escalating unchecked. The story prompted conversations about family conflicts and youth access to weapons. Support systems were activated for those affected. Family members and neighbors organized vigils and memorials to acknowledge the death. Social services became involved to ensure the children's needs were met. The legal system monitored the juveniles involved, including probation, hearings, and counseling. Community organizations offered resources for grief and mental health, recognizing that multiple layers of impact extended beyond the immediate family. The long-term consequences included changes in household routines. The children would continue to live without their mother's presence. Decisions regarding guardianship, schooling, and day-to-day care became priorities for remaining family members. Emotional development, safety, and well-being for the children became central concerns for adults now responsible for their care. The effects of the shooting extended into nearly every aspect of the family's life. By the end of the initial response period, the combination of personal loss, legal challenges, and community attention created a clear picture of the shooting's impact. One life was lost, another person was injured, and a family was left to manage the consequences. The event also influenced the community's awareness of domestic disputes and the potential risks when firearms are accessible in family settings. The reverberations of the incident continued long after the immediate emergency had ended. Here at Unseen Crime Dossiers, we're driven by a mission to uncover hidden realities, honor forgotten voices, and keep their memories alive. If this story made you pause, reflect, or feel something, there's more coming that will challenge you even deeper. Make sure to hit subscribe, tap the like button, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a case. We're dropping new episodes regularly, and trust us, what's ahead is even more chilling. Before you go, we want to hear from you. What moment hit you the hardest? Drop it in the comments. Your perspective matters, and your voice helps keep these stories alive. Until next time, stay alert, stay informed, and never stop seeking the truth, because every life deserves to be heard. Thanks you all for watching.